privilege to have Miss Reva Handa with me, President of Columbus Technologies. So could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little about Columbus Technologies?
Sure, my name is Reva Handa. As Anya said, I'm the president of Columbus Technologies and Services. Columbus is an engineering and software firm. We basically do engineering services for the U.S. government. So the majority of our customers are all government agencies, with the largest customer being NASA. So we support NASA at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, NASA at Goddard, NASA at Marshall Flight Space Center, and we're just now starting to do some work out at NASA Ames.
So was there any particular challenge that you faced that you would like to tell us about?
There's so many challenges. I think that, when you're an entrepreneur, it's like having another child. So every day is a challenge. You have to decide, do you want to stay status quo or do you want to climb the ladder and get to the next level? And if you want to climb the ladder and get to the next level, then it's definitely a challenge. Being a small business and playing in a small lake and being the big fish is wonderful. But now as you're trying to jump into that ocean and become a bigger player, and there's huge fish in that ocean, it's definitely a challenge. So learning how to play, I think, in a bigger playground and play with the big boys is something that I'm constantly challenged with. So when we first started the company, we won a very large contract with NASA, and it was our very first contract, and it was about $150 million. And about 90 days after we won that contract, and all of our work was done at one particular NASA site, so the entire company's work was at one particular NASA center. And about 90 days or maybe 6 months after we won that contract, that particular NASA center lost a majority of their funding. And in 30 days, we had to cut close to 65% of our staff. And the company essentially went from this to this. And AJ and I sat down and we decided at that point that we were going to get out of our comfort zone, because that one NASA center was our comfort zone. And we found opportunities throughout the United States. We marketed opportunities throughout the United States. And luckily enough, we were able to win work outside of NASA. We were able to win work with the Center for Disease. We were able to win work with HHS, Health and Human Services. And eventually it led to us winning an even larger NASA contract, which was $250 million. But you had to dig deep. I mean, there were a lot of days when you've lost 65% of your company and you just didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. So we really had to dig deep to be able to put a game plan together to go forward.
Seriously,
It was awful. It was really awful. Yeah.
When was this? Right in the beginning?
Right in the beginning. Yeah, it was like 2008.
So what's the advice that you would like to give to young entrepreneurs?
And I don't want to sound cliche, but you have to own it, you have to want it, and you have to firmly believe in your vision. And you have to send it out to the universe that you firmly believe in your vision. So many young entrepreneurs of today want to get into startups or do a new app or do something where they think they can sell out for millions of dollars. And yes, that's possible. But anything that you want to do is going to take more than 100%. You, honest to God, have to live it in order to get it. I mean, people come into Columbus now and they see these really cool conference rooms and all these offices and these people, but it took hours, 18-hour days. There was a time when the CEO, AJ Honda, worked on a proposal straight for 48 hours. And at one point, he got so dizzy he walked into a wall, and finally my staff had to send him home to go to sleep. So you really need to own it in order to be successful.
Okay, so you could see my website, which is her Success Bits. What do you think about it, and what is your advice for its betterment?
I think that it's a great idea to have women help women. I believe that a lot of times when women get into power, they forget that they have the ability to nurture other women and to help them. The pie is large enough in business for all of us to share what we've learned. I have mentors that, are PhDs, that are women that I go to when I need help. And I think that that's something that we should all give back.
And what is your mantra for success?
Impossible is nothing. I firmly believe that we could take this company from 7 employees when we started to over 600 today, and I believe impossible is nothing. If you believe it, it can happen. Ball players for the Lakers. This is signed by the Beatles. Bruce Springsteen. We sit on different charity boards and we go to a lot of silent auctions, and so when we bid on these things, it goes to charity. So if you go down the hall, there's Pele with Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali is sort of our, his belief was that impossible is nothing, and so that's our slogan. Columbus believes that impossible is nothing. If you believe it, it'll happen. Kobe Bryant. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the best basketball players for the Lakers. This is signed by the Beatles. Bruce Springsteen. This is just a collage of everybody. Aerosmith. Rolling Stones. I don't even know what this is. Illegals. And the reason we call this the war room is because when we go into proposal mode, we shut down completely, we black out everything, and everything goes on the wall when we're doing strategy. So that's why we call it the war room. So when the door's shut and it's blacked out, it means that we're in strategy sessions. And then everything stays on the board. So these are all of our government contracts that we have, different government agencies that we've done business with. And our biggest customer is NASA. This is my recruiting division. So these were all the recruiters that... Hi, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Hello. And on the picture in the back, you see the Mars rover. So Columbus worked on the software development for the Mars rover. So we had our engineers helped develop a lot of the software that went on the instruments that went on the rover.
Thank you so much for this interview. It was a wonderful experience going about the whole office, and I am grateful to have your presence.
Thank you so much, and I wish you nothing but the best. Maybe one day you'll be sitting here and I'll be sitting there asking you what made you so successful. Thank you.